When we left off, young Jason was in the throes of a relentless pursuit. A pursuit for love, approval, and acceptance. As a child, he held on to certain beliefs like a shipwrecked sailor clutching at straws. He assumed that by answering his mother's every call, by being the attentive and nurturing son, she would be there for him when he needed her. He also believed that if he was never a problem, if he was the picture-perfect child, he would bask in the warmth of love and approval. But life, as it often does, had a different script. No matter how hard he tried, his efforts fell short of his father's towering expectations. No matter how giving he was, his mother's nurturing was an oasis, always just out of reach. And even as his childhood roadmap failed him, Jason saw no other way but to try harder. As Jason grew into adulthood, he carried these childhood paradigms into his relationships, particularly with his wife. His strategy was simple yet flawed. Apply the same roadmap he used during his childhood. He aimed to be flawless, always attentive, nurturing, and never a moment's problem. He believed that by concealing his mistakes, he could shield himself from anger and disapproval. But this approach only painted an illusion, a mirage of control. He thought he could dictate his wife's emotions, her approval, even her availability. But life isn't a puppet show, and people aren't marionettes. We can't pull strings to make them act as we wish. His wife, like all humans, had her own moods and reactions, independent of Jason's actions. Yet, the illusion persisted, blinding him from the reality that his wife could sometimes be cold, critical, and unavailable. Despite the ineffectiveness of his paradigm, Jason's only option seemed to be to try even harder. But what if Jason could break free from this cycle? What if he could do something different? Imagine the transformative potential of breaking away from the nice guy syndrome, this self-destructive cycle of people-pleasing and approval-seeking. Over the years, we've seen countless men redefine themselves, escaping this cycle and embracing a healthier way of life. They've learned to accept themselves, warts and all. They've discovered the value of their mistakes, using them as stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks. They've stopped chasing approval and started setting boundaries, asserting their own needs and wants. These men have broken away from the shadows of their past, and in doing so, have found a new lease on life. They've transformed from resentful, frustrated, helpless nice guys into assertive, empowered, and happy individuals. Just like George on the Seinfeld show, when nice guys decide to make a change, interesting things begin to happen.